Brunson went to the Knicks, and this is what happened. I went back and read the comments from when Jalen Brunson joined the Knicks, so let's read them. Jawad Hake 089 said, biggest surprise of the year. Jarek13XD, top 1% commenter, congratulations. Dude wants to prove he is him. Good luck doing that in New York City. Michelin Star says, there are probably no other cities it'd be better to do it in than New York City. And he's from New Jersey, so he's probably dreamt of this his whole life. Well, guess what, Jarek13? He is him, because look at what he's doing for the Knicks. Schaefer89 says, no tampering. That's for sure. By the way, the Shams report that Jalen Brunson was signing with the Knicks was released before 6 p.m., which is technically the time that free agency is supposed to start. So that is why people are saying tampering. Joe the Show 1, nice name. He just wants to join the most stable franchise in New York. Big Cake Take Little Cake said, dude played great in the playoffs, 41 points in one game, and was the second best player on the Western Conference team. If Ayton is getting $30 million, then why can't Brunson get 25? He was a much better player, is still young. He's not huge or flashy, so it seems wrong, but if you watch him in the playoffs this past year, you could see his floater and his post game is deadly. Big Cake was spot on, because Jalen Brunson's floater and just his shot and his footwork and everything in general is deadly. You know he's going to get the ball. You know he's going to create his own shot, and you still can't stop him. Not going to pronounce that guy's name. Said, I think they saw what he could do in the playoffs, and I think he can add positively to the culture. He seems like a hardworking dude who can bring energy. And that is facts. That is exactly what Jalen Brunson is, a hardworking guy. Tomas Roncero says, not even 6 p.m. here. And that's correct. It was not 6 p.m. And I do think the Knicks, if I remember correctly, got at least one pick taken away. Swish Ya says, overpay. I'm not going to read that name, said, thank blank we aren't chasing that. Well, Swish Ya, I bet you wish you didn't say that now, because Brunson's contract looks like one of the biggest underpays in the NBA for his production. John Blank Nallen says, Knicks got their guy. They definitely did. And D Mr. 8 says, 'twas a fun ride. Deleted account says, the Knicks are going to turn around and offer everything they have for KD. And Matt R1198 says, Knicks front office, we're trying to build a culture and develop our youth for years down the line. Dolan, psych, you thought. Tricky Balls says, no one team should have all the lefties, because they had Brunson and Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, who are all lefties. Don't be hating on the lefties, okay? James Harden's a lefty, if I remember correctly, and he gets it done. 10-second violation, which is not correct because you only get 8 seconds, so what sport is he playing? Says, Brunson is one of the most underrated players in the league. He is a point guard averaging 50% on 16 points per game. He's saying Brunson will take the team to new heights, which is absolutely correct. He said, until RJ becomes that star for the Knicks, unfortunately RJ got traded, but he definitely was on the money. Brunson took the team and is taking the team to new heights. Obviously, he has help, and the trades that they have made since has made them better, but Brunson is the catalyst. Mr. Threebound, that's a cool name, says big three of Brunson, Fournier, and Randall is going to dominate the play-in. And Confuddly replies, Brunson's still going to come off the bench? Tibbs will still start Burks at point guard. That's hilarious. Obviously, that didn't happen, but it makes sense. This guy says, what a blank joke. This franchise has no way to ever be good again. They had their chance after the 2020, and here we are. Roster is pure blank. By far the worst in the NBA. Okay, this is dramatic. It clearly was not the worst in the NBA. Nobody wants our players. No good player wants to be a Knick. Front office trades down every draft. Just delete this team. Sick of it. Well, I hope this guy is watching and cheering now. Deleted account says, cry more. Brunson reminds me a lot of Fred VanVleet and Kyle Lowry, guys who didn't have anything handed to them and had to fight their way to be a starter, getting paid and eventually become a star. Which is true that Brunson definitely, has worked very hard. Now, obviously, we know his dad was an NBA player before, so, that obviously does help him because he had, NBA training, technically, growing up from his dad, but, he still had to work to where he got, right? He wasn't just given the starting position. And then Air Ducky says, Brunson definitely does not shy away from the spotlight. That is facts. Now you see it up close and personal. He wants every game winner. Okay, but he doesn't make selfish plays, but you know what I mean. He will take and make every big shot, and he makes them all. I think he's going to win Clutch Player of the Year. As a sad Mavs fan, I really do think he'll do well in the Knicks. I will miss him. Sorry, Air Ducky. Oh man, he's a Mavs fan. Uh-oh. Go find Air Ducky. See if he's doing all right after Luca's gone. Deleted account says, facts. I've been leaving my receipts all over Reddit. This guy has proven doubters and hesitators wrong every year. His work ethic is like Steve Nash. Well, why'd you delete your account then? We have to give you credit and we can't because you're deleted. I Am American said, I watched Brunson kill the spirit of an entire state and make it look easy. He's got mad talent. So there was a ton of comments in the thread saying it was an overpay and they didn't understand this. And so like, that definitely was the common theme, but I see that there are some people who, saw the light at the end of the tunnel. Turbo2X says, NBA all-tampering team lock. 4 for 110 seems like way too much for Brunson, but we'll see how it goes. And KJ1017 says, let's talk about Beal. Damn, Bradley Beal's gonna catch some strays here? I mean, come on, leave Bradley Beal alone. DK Doki, top 1% commenter, good for you. And automatically one of the worst contracts in the NBA. Well, again, hindsight is always 20/20. I always like to talk about it with these kind of things. Like, you never know how it's going to turn out, right? Like, these people could have been right, but they are wrong, sadly for them. Cavs 2025 champs. Whoa, hold on a minute. Wait a minute. We got to talk about this guy. Unless he changed his name this year or sometime within the season to Cavs 2025 champs, I don't know. If that was his name back then, shout out to you because the Cavs are the #1 seed. But anyway, he says Knicks got their guy. Pontus Pilates, that's a cool name, says one of the better backup point guards in the league. Not going to say this guy's name. And they're paying him $110 million to be a starter. Can't say I'm not salty, but that's a bag. Actual Rex says Brunson and Randall, one of the most stoppable combos in the league. Well, Randall is no longer on the team, but you can't stop Brunson. Alafe says, can't believe we got Brunson without talking to him. And deleted said LMFAO. I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I was listening to music. Sorry, it's blocking the screen, my sound bar, but deleted account said something, finally gave them a capable adult at the point guard position. Tibbs was never going to play young guys, so they badly needed Brunson. He will get guys the ball when they need it and settle things down. It won't make the Knicks a contender, but they should be capable of winning most nights. Hey, they're kind of a contender now. Well, to me, I think they're a contender, but some people don't. But they are at least, a scary playoff team at the minimum for people who, don't believe they're contenders. Overall, Palpitation 6 says, if Brunson given a proper starting role and usage level and minutes of a main ball handler, why couldn't he average 24 and 7 for the Knicks and put himself into the fringes of all-star conversation? Well, overall Palpitation, you actually aimed a little too low because he is now a 2-time all-star. He's averaging more than that, but shout out to you. You got it. Hazelwood38 says, part of me feels bad for Brunson. New York dumping all the salary to sign him and has turned him into the Knicks savior. I just don't see him as being the guy on that team. And again, we are not here to rub it in people's faces because hindsight is 20/20. But Hazelwood, I'm sorry to say for you, he is clearly the guy on the Knicks, and it's not even close. He said that's a lot of pressure on him, and I just don't see Brunson being the guy to take the Knicks to relevancy, which again is fair. It was a lot of pressure. Well, I don't know if he felt the pressure, but, giving him that money and a lot of people thinking he was an overpay definitely put pressure on the Knicks to at least be better. And we'll close it out with Fishy Fish response. Hey, I like that name. No one is under the impression that JB is the Knicks savior, not the fans and not the front office. Well, maybe it wasn't the impression then, but he is definitely one of the saviors now. I know Josh Hart would be sad that none of these comments mentioned Jalen Brunson's big head because he loves to talk about Jalen Brunson's head. So if Josh Hart ever sees this video, I'm so sorry. No one talked about his head, so maybe his head's not as big as you say it is.